Step by Step is airing season 6, episode 13, The Big Date. Al likes the sound of the pizza guy on the phone and asks him out, only to find out that he is obese. Carol is not happy when Dana and Rich, together with JT and Sam, spend the night in a hotel in Chicago after a concert.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of greatness in this, Steve. And it was a lot of triggering. But I gotta say, from a former fat guy perspective, the fat guy in this he's going all wrong. He's going about it all wrong.
He did himself no favors and he's very cringe. More on that later. So the girls are there at the mall and they're talking about guys. Oh, who has the best smile? Brad Pitt. One girl said
Mm.
Paul Newman. Shout out Ohio. And then somebody, Al, she mentions Drew. They're like, Drew Carey? No, Drew the pizza guy.
He's got a sexy voice, which is weird.
The fuck?
Weird fucking thing. I mean, who clocks that calling Pizza Hut, Steve? Like, god damn, did you hear that guy? That person's crazy. But I gotta say, at this point, Al has surpassed all of the other sisters. She's hot. She's
Not Dana.
well, I get it, Steve. We all know that's a thing. And I gotta agree, Dana's up there. This fucking Keenan, she's definitely a princess of the 90s. But Al's just into that sexy voice. And she just like it just be he likes cool stuff. He's just, he knows me. It's like, how much of a conversation are you having with this guy? Calling for a large pepperoni and you figured all this shit out, but she's all about it. And then Brendan and Mark come, the two brothers, and they're hanging out with a guy named Jean-Luc, who we know as Balky from Perfect Strangers. I forgot about this.
Mr. Pincho.
He is apparently driving them around half blind because he refuses to wear his contacts or his glasses. And he's just a bull in a china shop, Steve. He's tripping over people. He's acting like he's in a kitchen at one point. He's just all fucked up. And I don't like he's hanging out with just some kids. I don't get that part of it.
He's babysitting because he's a fellow hairstylist, just like Carol. She's a hairstylist, and like they're like he's like her gay friend in a way, even though I don't think he's gay because he has a child that they talk about in another episode, but that's beside the point. But Bronson, he's showing off his physical comedy as we remember from the Balky days. And he almost actually he does fall over a cliff in the mall.
Mm. Well, this motherfucker needs to be somebody needs to get some glasses on him because he's a danger to society. Uh, but he's there, possibly trying to run people off the road, half blind. But as he's doing his little wacky shtick, Al's gone. She comes back. Turns out she landed a little date with the pizza guy, Drew. She just gave up a call to Pizza Hut, asked the dude out, which is insane behavior. That's what kind of thirst level are you at that you're calling a pizza place for a blind date? That's pretty fucked up.
That's crazy work.
But
And
hey,
I noticed.
Steve, if you're a pizza guy, you show up and Al is the one that said, "Do you want to go on a date?" Jackpot, fucking jackpot. I'd be expecting goddamn Roseanne, like something like that.
Somebody desperate. Yeah.
But we cut back to the house, and Dana, Stacy Keenan's hot ass, is telling Carol that she's taking Rich. She's talking about her little trip to Chicago with Rich, her boyfriend, and basically she's just sort of going through the details of this trip. It's an overnight with the boyfriend at a hotel. That's a red flag for a parent. But Carol was like sort of caught up in something, and she just sort of was like, oh, that's cool, like not really clocking it until the very end, where she realizes that she's basically agreed to let her daughter go on a fuck trip with her boyfriend and her younger son and his girlfriend, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And they get a whole thing, and Dana's just kind of pissed off that Carol, she's like, why are you even worried about this? Like, mind your business. For all you know, I'm fucking all over this house, is basically what she says. And I mean, that's pretty cool. You know?
Yeah. I like that for you, Dana. Be proud. Pop that pussy. Word to Uncle Luke. And what I noticed about this, man, they have just done away with the theme song. That was a part of the magic. Like as we get to the later part of the decade, man, like I feel like the mindset of the sitcom is changing. And Oh, it's
They
like the
needed that extra 20 seconds to finish the story. You know, they're like, we don't have enough time. Cut the shit. We get it. They're on a fucking roller coaster. Days go by or whatever the fuck. Like, they're like, that's not even the right one. He's like, whatever. It's gone.
whatever.
That same person that made that call is the guy who put skip intro on the streaming services, because that's basically the thought. It's like, we don't
Well,
need all this. Just get right into the fucking story. We've heard it all.
I'm the one that sticks around for the theme song, especially.
I'm there, Steve. Weirdly enough, me and a mutual friend in college used to have a CD that was all TV theme songs from the 70s up into the 90s, and we listened to it while we were driving around singing to each other. It's weird, but they have a place in our heart, you know?
And
And
that's why
they're legitimately good.
yeah, and that's why we're friends, Matt. And like, so now we know that Al, she's got the date, and Karen, she comes down in her best red dress, looking fine.
Mm.
Yeah, she's still hot. She just ain't Al.
What kind of
And
slutty behavior is this though? She's like, oh, you got a date? Not now, because I'm gonna come in and just swoop in and fucking take the dick. But Drew shows up, and I mean, dude, it's Chris Farley, Steve. This motherfucker has the rugby shirt on from Tommy Boy. He has the same outfit on, and I love '90s fat shaming because Carol and Al, who were both expecting some hot pizza guy, see this fat mess come in, and like Carol's like, "Oh, I'm not Al. That's your date. I gotta go. I gotta
yeah.
go. I gotta go fucking clean myself."
By the way, I'm always this fine. Bye.
Yeah, yeah. See ya. Um, and I think Drew senses that there might be a little bit of whatever. And he just is basically he loves self-deprecation, Steve.
I
And
do too.
I do too. It's great, but this guy's he leans into it a little too much, and he basically guilts her, and he's like, "What? I get it. Just fucking going out on a pity date with the fat guy. I suck." And Al does pity her, but it's clear she's a nice person, and she agrees to go out with him, but he's like kind of like being shitty about it. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like she has a gun to her head type. She's just like, I'm gonna do this because I'm not shitty, but you're a piece of shit almost.
Like, you don't mind that I'm overweight? Hey, everybody, give her the Peabody Award. Miss Mother Teresa over here. She doesn't mind that I'm obese. Yeah.
She doesn't mind the smell of titty sweat. She doesn't mind that I smell like butter.
Mm.
you know but
Oh,
we get to the mall, and he's not doing himself any favors because he brings in dinner. She gets a fucking salad. He gets like 30 cheeseburgers. Steve, I mean, come on, Drew.
he's eating for a football team, man.
Portion control, bro.
Yeah, dude. And then on top of the fat jokes, man, like the little gossip girls that they were talking to earlier in the episode, they walked by and they were like, Al, are you on a date? Yes, I am. Ooh, Shamu.
Yeah, I mean, they're fucking next door. Like, can you believe how fat that fucking fat ass is? That's fucking crazy.
Has he even seen his dick in the last month?
And Drew's like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I love fat jokes. Like, my fucking belt loops have a fucking zip code or whatever his fucking fat joke is. And, Al's like, look, dude, it's kind of making me uncomfortable. You're like, I get it. You're trying to get ahead of the game. Like, this is some 8 Mile shit, but,
Yeah.
this isn't funny. And to be honest with you, your vibe, you're being kind of a fucking dick. And he's like, oh, okay, well, fucking maybe this date's over then. And like, again, been fat, was never put in a position like this where you just have some hotties just fall into your lap just trying to go out. He's just fucking pushing this chick away instead of making some funny, fun jokes instead of these fat jokes. But he storms off, takes a cheeseburger, and he's like, you could tell everybody you did your good job hanging out with Fatty all day, and takes like a bite and leaves.
Yeah, let me
I mean, dude, come on, dude.
Let me take one more before I leave. Fuck you.
Fucking, you just tell him my name's Fatty Fatkins. I'm going, but it's over. The date went bad. Now Al has to get home from the mall. She lost her ride, and now we go back to the house, and Carol's trying to like basically future cock block her daughter, and she's calling the hotel just to like incite something. She's like, yeah, my daughter's there, and I think she's might be being held hostage in the room. There's some kind of a spill, like toxic spill. Just trying to get people to knock on the door to not have some like fluids being spilt on the bed, Steve.
Well, she wanted the door removed because she said Dana was claustrophobic. And if she tells you otherwise, she's a pathological liar. So don't believe her. She's stupid.
But then Frank overhears all this and he's like, Jesus Christ, like, I'm not really sure how we're going to discuss this at the home whenever I have you committed because you're acting crazy as fuck. And Carol's like, aren't you scared like JT's out in the city with his girl and like something could happen? Like, you know how kids and the bad decisions they make. And Frank's like, I think JT's been instilled with some good morals and he's going to be fine. And then we basically flash cut to JT and he's just straight up like, you know, that thing I was trying to tell you, Sam, I'm ready to have sex. So let's get
Yeah.
down. And
Yeah.
fuck the morals.
Yeah. Morals. Yeah. This is the same guy who dropped out of high school to work for a used car dealership. Yeah. That JT. And he's a virgin, just like Dana, just like Rich. But we find out that Sam, she's been around the bases a couple times.
Yeah. And he tries to get that number, which is stupid. Don't ask that question, JT. But she's like, look, the last guy I thought I gave myself to, I thought we were in love, and he just hit it and quit it. So I'm not going to have sex unless the person I have sex with is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. And JT's like, do you think it could be me? She's like, maybe, I hope so. And he's like, yes. She's like, but we're not having sex. She's every positive thing where you're like, oh, well, then maybe there's a little opening in that door there. She's like, but blue balls. Okay.
But she said that like I love you more than I loved him. I care about you more than I could ever care about him. All right, so it's a no-brainer. I'm in them skins, right? No, that's not how it works. What the math ain't mathing.
Yeah. What the kind of fucked up math is this? Are we talking the butt then? Is it that kind of math equation or something?
We could
But
be with that.
JT's, but he's a gentleman. He's not trying to force the issue that much, but he's just trying to make sure all the boxes are checked before he goes into the bathroom and jacks off, you know?
By the way, Sam is like Timu Yasmin Bleeth, I've always thought, like with a raspy voice. Hey JT, this isn't the night. No, JT.
Hey JT, maybe you go down and give me a hot seltzer or something and get these panties off. Yeah, she definitely has she's gonna be a bus driver someday, just smoking butts with fucking Kelly Bundy or some shit. But now we cut back to the house, Steve. JT's got blue balls. And then Al is sitting at the house and Drew comes by to apologize. And he's like, look, man, everybody keeps telling me I'm so fat that when I wear a red shirt, that you call me Kool-Aid. And I get that you don't like that, but you're a good person. And you weren't embarrassed to be seen with me and my fat ass. So, I'm sorry. And I just wanted to tell you that. I'm going to go. I got to go. I got a couple extra burgers. And she's like, no, Drew.
Get your ass back in here.
Hold on, come sideways because I know you're not going to fit through the door, fatty.
Yeah.
She's not saying.
Sidle your ass in here. Penguin walk, goddammit.
And she's like, look, man, I just want to know, why the fuck were you being so mean to me? I mean, I'm hot. What the fuck are you doing, Dan Schneider? I know, you want to see the feed? Is that what it was?
Yeah. You never know. I might have a fat fetish. I kind of want to pull on your pud, but damn, you're so angry. Why are you so angry? Well, I haven't seen my pud in the last couple months. And when I was little, kids would always pick on me and they never want to play with me. So I would just sit by the window and watch them play while I ate. And then I ate more.
And I got fatter.
Yeah. Now that's my thing. I get mad and I eat.
She's like, I get it. Hot Pockets are delicious, Drew, but the guy I was talking to was funny and smart. In between orders of breadsticks and cheesy sticks, he would ask me about myself and who I was as a person. And he just seemed cool. But the real Drew is just a hostile jerk. And, after Drew lays the guilt trip on her, I was like, you know what? Let's be friends. And he's like, even in public, you'll go out with me?
For real?
I mean, dude. And she's like, well, yeah, like maybe we could go see a movie sometime. Which again, Al, holler at me in the 90s because I'm fat and I would have loved to hang out, go to the movies. And you know what Drew suggests, Steve? Beverly Hills Ninja, that classic. He's like, turns out he even name drops Chris Farley. He's a huge fan. And if you can't tell, he's wearing the fucking rugby shirt from Tommy Boy. Look it up.
He totally is. I'm looking at it right now.
So Drew, they're not gonna fuck Drew. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna get friend zoned real quick and maybe help her move a couple of times. It's just not gonna happen. But you got a buddy. And she's cool with you eating maybe the equivalent of 13 cheeseburgers in one sitting.
While she eats lettuce. And by the way, we never see Drew again. So, maybe things just fell off after the movie. And back to the hotel, Rich and Dana, they're in the room, and Rich, he's ready to go to bed. He's like, "You tired? Your feet sore? Maybe you need to get off your feet and get in this bed because you're sleepy, right? Yeah.
But you want to get to bed first, right?
Yeah. Let's go to bed."
But I gotta say, Rich looks like a toddler. This looks like child molestation if you just had your glasses off and couldn't see the TV right. Because he's got like this weird kid-like energy. He's small as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's ready to fuck, Steve. I remember this. I mean, you had to be ready to go at any at this level of life when you were just trying to get the first one off, check mark off. I mean, this was the energy. I get it. But Dana's like, look, Rich, come sit over here next to mom. It's very much that energy. She's like, come sit over here in your weird boxers and gross old man tank top. I just don't think, and then there's a knock and the maintenance guy shows up that Carol's been talking to. And I don't know if you clocked this, but the maintenance guy is actually somebody that was in that show Workaholics. He worked in the office. He's actually the guy, if you ever saw the episode where they follow the one dude that can suck his own dick.
The weird guy.
Yeah. Yep. And he's there to, take the door off the hinges. Dana gets pissed the fuck off at this point. She's like, oh, my mom's trying to interfere with this. Gets the guy out and basically is like, oh, you know what? I'm going to fuck this guy out of spite now because my mom's a fucking bitch. And, Rich is all about that kind. He doesn't give a fuck about the reasoning. Yeah. But
sounds good to me.
When he comes out, because she basically sends him to the bathroom real quick while the maintenance guy comes. He comes out, says some of the most what was it? He says, take me, break me, make me a man. And I mean, if the pussy wasn't dry before that, that's going to put all stops. She might just call the cops at that point. That's weird.
With your wife beater tucked into your lucky boxers. And, by the time he does come out of the bathroom, Carol, she calls in and talks to Dana saying like, you know what? I just called to apologize. I want to protect you, but I realized I was out of pocket. So whatever you decide, I'm going to love you.
And I used to live in a fucking apartment with these two other people, and it was just constant fuck sessions all the time. Me, John Ritter, the other chick.
Yeah.
Why do you think I needed the thigh master? I had to my shit was broken until I got that. I had to work it from nothing back to full health.
Yeah, Jack wasn't tripping.
And so Dana gets off the phone, and that's when, she tells Rich, she's like, look, I was actually about to fuck you to spite my mother. And he's like, oh, awesome. And she's like, but turns out, he's like, damn it. So she's like, you know what? It's going to happen at some point. It just is not going to happen now. And Rich finally just becomes the sweet little boy that he looks like and is like, you know what? I think you're right. And maybe we should just go get that coffee with JT and Sam. And everybody can just be pent up for the rest of the night. Did they all go to the concert together, Steve? Or was JT and Sam just off just in Chicago, just living their lifestyle?
I think that we just joined them after a concert. They went to Alanis Morissette concert, which I don't know, that might defeat your fight for pussy going to one of those.
I feel like that could end up being a nice night though, Steve. Because maybe just all just the melodies and like the chick getting into the Alanis vibe, like maybe she's gonna walk away just feeling empowered and just like push you onto the bed and get, you know, really like force herself on you at that point in a good way. You know what I
That's
mean?
that's the Dana I like.
Hell yeah. But shout out to Stacey Keenan because, and shout out to all of the women on this show because at this season, I think it's season 6, they are all right and tight. This whole family of women is just lucky that they're not all impregnated constantly because they're all incredibly sexy.
Yeah. And now the final scene, Sam and Dana, they're in a room and she's talking about how she's not ready to be with Rich and they're eating snacks. And Sam, she's like, you know what? I'm not ready for JT either. And they just like pounding on these chips and Snickers bars and, you know, just trying to fight and overcome their horniness. And Sam says, I think JT's okay with it. And then you cut to JT. He's like, I don't get it. She says she loved me more than the other guy, but she slept with him and not me. And Richard's like, maybe you're just too lovable.
I'm gonna go jack off. Yeah, dude. I mean, that sucks to, you know, this was part of that process, Steve. You thought it was gonna happen. It didn't happen. You thought it was gonna happen. It would be taken away from you for whatever reason. And it was heartbreaking. But eventually both of these guys, I don't think I wish Rich didn't. I hate to be a hater. I don't want him to fuck Stacey Keenan.
Oh,
I just don't like that for him. But yeah, man, step by step. I'd like to love take a step into that house and, you know, party when the Duffy also just to mention the Duffy side of that family, Patrick's side, all
yeah.
a bunch of ugly fucking weirdos.
Except for Al.
Oh yeah, I guess that is his kid.
Yeah.
No, it's
'Cause-
half his.
Yeah, Brendan and JT. But yeah.
Well, I don't know, Steve. It's not the end of step by step, but it's getting close, you know? All the
Yeah.
kids are starting to fuck. There's only so many storylines they have left.